Hello again, it's Jason Ravnsborg, your Attorney General for 5 on Fridays. This week we're going to do some exit interviews with our interns. You guys ready?
Yep. Yeah.
Cash, did the experience of working for the Attorney General's office live up to your expectations?
Yeah, it did. It was great. The people I worked with and collaborated with were all very helpful and very patient and really kind of showed me the ropes and let me do my own thing. And at the end, it put out a pretty good product.
Okay.
Yes, it did. I very much enjoyed my summer work here. I had about 14 projects that all ended up producing some form of a memo, and all of the topics, it was a broad range of topics. They were all interesting, and I never felt like I was coming to work. I always felt like I was coming in and had another opportunity to learn something.
I would say they exceeded my expectations. There really aren't very
See, much
many,
better answer, guys.
There really aren't very many opportunities for interns, whether they be a first year or a second year law student going into their second or third year to write appellate briefs and get those filed with the Supreme Court. There aren't many opportunities for interns to even get in the courtroom and do something as trivial as just a sentencing or revocation, and I got to do both of those things as well as a civil forfeiture trial. So it was a really great summer with really great opportunities and definitely a lot of experience that will carry with me into the future.
Great. I think that leads right into our second question was, what is your most memorable experience of the summer?
Gosh, this is my second summer with the AG's office, and I think just getting out of the office into the courtroom was by far the most memorable experience. Not gonna say the trial itself wasn't frustrating, overwhelming, and stressful, but it was a really great learning experience and something I never even anticipated I would get to do this summer.
I'm gonna have to say the ice cream socials. Those were pretty good. But my second most rewarding experience was the day that we spent with Grant in court.
Then where did you go?
Where did we go or when?
Where?
I think it was Brule County.
Okay.
And we spent the day in court with a suppression hearing. And so we got to see both sides, Grant presenting his reasons why the evidence should be admitted, and we watched the defense counsel present their reasons why it should be suppressed. And that it took a full day, and it was very interesting to hear both sides argue their point of view on that particular set of evidence. Very interesting.
The days going to court were memorable for sure because it's always different, but also the days you spend in the office, and just because there's so much you get to work on from one end of the spectrum to the other, every day is pretty interesting. I thought kind of the whole summer was memorable because you're always getting thrown into something and having to learn on the fly and really get to see what you're made of.
Jeff, what will you take to your next year of law school from this experience?
Well, one of the things that I was really impressed with was the things that we learned in the first year of law school actually happened in real life. Not that I doubted what we learned in class, but it was interesting to see it actually occur, develop, and conclude in the real world. So, number one, I learned that what they teach you the first year is what actually happens in the real world. What I will take into my second year is check the details. The details matter. So if it goes anything from citing a case, make sure that case is still good law. You know, if you come across that yellow or red flag, dig into why that flag is there. The issue that you're citing for that particular case, although it's been overruled for some reason, might not be the reason that that case was overruled, so your information is still good law. So check the details. Attorney General opinions, there's a lot of them out there. Some of them can end up getting turned or changed over time because the legislation changes. So you just have to check all of the details, and the more time you have, the more you can refine the amount of details that you check.
Okay. And Cash, you're also going into your second year. What is something you're going to take away from the summer?
More of the practical side of law and being a lawyer, I guess. You see day to day through this internship what it takes to put out a brief or the preparation to show up in court. So kind of everything that leads up to the stuff you might see on TV or actually hear about. So a lot of that practical knowledge and just kind of how lawyers really go day by day about their jobs.
Okay. And Jenna, you're going into your third year. You know, you've been here 2 summers. What are you going to take away from this summer and take back to law school for their last year?
Yeah, I think I'll echo just a little bit of what Cash and Jeff said. Going into your third year, it's kind of crunch time. You have 1 year left, and then you have the bar exam, and then you're out there in the real world. And I know so many of us feel that our undergraduate or graduate programs don't really prepare us all that well for the real world. And there's just that fear that when you graduate, you really don't have the practical skills that you need to succeed in a job after your post-education. And both of these past summers, last summer and this summer especially, I feel very confident going forward after my next year and going out there into the real world and being able to do at least somewhat of what attorneys do on a daily basis, and just the networking connections that you gain from this office. The AG's office is one of, if not the biggest firm in the state.
Oh, we're the biggest.
We are the biggest, all right. Between the Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Pierre offices, there are so many attorneys here, and I think somebody told me once, probably like 1,000 years of combined experience if you add it all together, and just the diversity of the emphases that everybody has, from civil to environmental to appellate and everything in between. Just knowing all of those connections and getting out into courtrooms and meeting judges, getting to the state bar convention and meeting attorneys from all over the state, meeting state board members, meeting justices. We actually got to sit down at the state bar convention with 2 judges, a circuit court judge and a federal magistrate judge, and sat with them and their wives during dinner, and both of them said that they started their careers in the AG's office. So just having those connections and those practical skills to be able to succeed in the future after this is going to be unparalleled.
Sounds great. Well, thank you for all your hard work this summer, and I hope you have a good year down in Vermilion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And once again, this is another edition of 5 on Fridays. Thanks for joining us, and we'll tune back in with you next week.